This is Small Business Big World, our weekly podcast prepared by the team at Paper Trails. Owning and running a small business is hard. Each week, we'll dive into the challenges, headaches, trends, fun, and excitement of running a small business. After all, small businesses are the heartbeat of America, and our team is here to keep them beating. Hello. Welcome to Small Business Big World, our weekly small business podcast. We are here joined today by Graham Duvall from Valued Productions. Graham's a video expert today, so you're probably watching us. You might be watching us on video, hopefully YouTube somewhere. Graham's kind of the mastermind behind all this stuff and helps us. We've been working with Graham for about a year now, and it's done some really great things for us. So welcome, Graham.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. It's exciting.
So talk to me about kind of your background. How'd you get into video and production and all that stuff?
Yeah, so I've been creating videos since iMovie came out. Like that was when that came out. I was just like, wow, this is.
Did you have like the purple Mac?
Oh yeah, the purple Mac.
Right.
Yep, most definitely. And so creating home movies, school projects. We got a lot of awards in high school. I went to college after high school for film studies. So like I knew I wanted to do this, but it took me into the music world. I started doing videos for music, played more music. You know, the starving artist thing doesn't work too well, you know what I mean? And so I ended up going back to college for music business, thinking like, how do I monetize this music thing? And took some video production classes, and it reignited that passion I had in high school. And so when I graduated, you know, I started my own business instead of getting like a corporate job in the music business. And the rest is history, just been...
And today you help small business owners with our video needs,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
So but you still do a lot of music. I know.
Yeah. Oh, yes, most definitely.
But so what are the things that you're doing with small businesses to help, create content and put it out there? We certainly, I'm just as guilty, scrolling, through the TikTok and the Instagram reels and all that stuff. So what you're doing a lot of that work, right?
Yes,
what's that look like?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, the world we live in today, everything is video content. Even this podcast here we're doing is going to be video.
Yeah.
And so you have it at your fingertips. And so what we do is help create that platform for businesses to get their message in front of their ideal customer using this medium of video.
Right. And so you do, there's different forms of video, right?
Right.
You've got, we do a lot of short form, less than a minute kind of tips and tricks and tidbits and those kind of things.
Yeah.
But there's long form too, right? That you can use on your websites and for educational videos and things like that.
That's an awesome point, because like a lot of people think that just like posting videos is just to post videos is the way to do it. But having a strategy behind it where it's like, okay, we're going to grab their attention with this awareness style content that's going to be shorter. Because a stranger is only going to give you 15, 30 seconds, 60 seconds tops of their time. But then guiding them through their journey to the website where you can go a little bit more in depth with some longer form stuff, explain a topic a little bit more, and having that continuity across that whole customer journey, guiding them with video content is so key.
So we struggled at the beginning, and you helped us with this, is how do we knew our goal was to educate our clients. And we know that payroll, small business, just like what we're talking about today, it's hard, right?
Yeah.
It's a challenge. Every day I come to work and I'm like, okay, what's going to hit me in the face today, right?
Yep.
And so we do a lot of work with our clients to try to proactively say, hey, this is going to hit you in the face. Be ready for it.
Right.
And so we do a lot of content with that. So certainly educating is our primary goal. But certainly video generally is an investment, a financial investment.
Yep.
Certainly we've been very happy to continue to support you.
Yes.
But certainly, it's time, which is also important as an investment.
Yep.
But we got to monetize that somehow, right?
Yes.
So I think from my perspective, it's retention was one of them.
Right.
But one of the things that we found was, trying to capture leads, sometimes doesn't happen in the way you think it does.
No, most definitely.
And one of the things that we've taken is, hey, we'll give you a checklist, right? So if you like our video, if you follow our video, if you leave us a comment, there are tools out there that you can say, hey, we'll send you this checklist or this guidebook or this tool or whatever, and we'll capture, and of course it's a DM, but then it's go to my website and give me your email address. 100%,
right? 100%.
So trying to capture some of that stuff, and certainly, again, it's not always about making a sale. it may also just be about continuing that education process.
Exactly. It's about building that trust.
Yep.
And what you guys are doing with that is so key, because you're establishing that authority of like who you are. People are building that personal connection before they even get into a meeting with you. They've seen your stuff, and that it may not be the direct sale from like, oh, I posted this video and it got me a sale directly like that. It's more that long time horizon that is when you do get that sale, it's going to be a much higher quality person.
Yep.
They're going to have much more trust in you. They're going to stay with you longer. And that's one of the benefits of using video content, is having that piece behind it, that trust. And
yeah, it's true. The trust, the authority. I mean, John, who's our marketing director, always comes back to me and says, 90% of the buying decision is made before they even talk to you.
Right, exactly.
I mean, and we take that really seriously, and we try to build that trust and that authority and give you as much information that you need to make that buying decision before you even pick up the phone or send me a DM or any of those type of things. I mean, that's really important to us anyway.
Yeah.
And because, quite frankly, we're busy.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you and give you the dog and pony show if I don't have to, right?
Right, exactly.
If you don't think you want to buy from me, that's fine. But we've also seen, certainly with all the analytics and the tools that are out there, we can see that we've had prospects that have noodled around our website, interacted with our videos, and everything in between for sometimes 8, 10, 12 months until they finally reach out.
Exactly.
So we see those through our software and tools that we use, like, hey, this person isn't engaged yet.
Exactly.
But we obviously continue to build that trust and so forth.
You guys do such a great job with that, because and that's where a lot of people have that mistake. It's like, oh, we're going to do some video stuff for like 3 months. You need to build a little bit more of that time. And I think that's a misconception that's out there. It is kind of like a time horizon thing. And you're there when that person who noodled around for a little bit wanted to make the decision. Think of if you didn't have videos that time when they were ready to make the decision, if someone else was there, they would have gone with someone else. Yeah.
So it's funny, John, our marketing guy, sent me yesterday some of the TikTok analytics. And we have a video, I don't know if he sent it to you or not, but we had a video from last April, our very first series of short form videos where none of us knew what we were doing. We all looked like lunatics. And it was John's recording, and I don't even remember the topic, but it's only recently picked up.
Exactly.
We've gotten 60,000 views in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And which is by far our best viewed video ever.
Yep.
So John was very excited about that. But it's something that took almost a year to get picked up by the algorithm, which is another piece of the puzzle, right? I mean, how do these algorithms work?
Oh, they're more especially TikTok, they're more interest based, which with video content is so key, because you're creating content that's going to be valuable to your ideal prospects based on their interests. And so the more you can do that education or entertainment and provide that value, it's going to push it further. So that's why sometimes it could take that time, but being there to continue showing up and continue to do it, the algorithm pushes to those strangers. And if you're there with the video content, you have that ability to capture that attention.
Sure, and get them to follow you and continue to increase that, right? I mean,
it's like a compounding effect.
But so you made a good comment there. Ideal client profile, ideal customer profile, right? I mean, I think video is a tool in the toolbox.
Yep.
It's not your marketing department. It's
Nope.
not your marketing engine. I mean, it's a piece of it,
It's
right?
a piece.
I mean, you still have to have some other stuff in the background. You have to have the process in the background.
Most definitely.
What happens if someone reaches out to you?
Yeah.
Hey, I saw your video. I saw your dancing cat video, whatever. I want to buy your catnip or whatever. Right?
Yep.
How do you handle that, right?
Yeah.
What should people do about that?
Yeah, I think that's such a key point, is and that's kind of what sets us apart, is we work to actually work with you to come up with that strategy and think about, it's more than just creating a nice video. Okay, how are we going to take that person and capitalize on that attention? Are we sending them those checklists, or are we having those automations that send out certain things to be able to capitalize on that lead? And so it goes to think more behind the actual just video.
Right, it's turning the stranger into the customer.
Exactly.
Right, and how do you do that? And you have to be ready to to answer the phone or respond to the email or the Facebook message or the Instagram message or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
What's that process look like? How do you get notified of those? All those things.
Right?
Yeah. And what happens if you get 50 of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to be ready for that.
Right? I mean, I can say I've been guilty of this, of there's ads on Facebook to buy stupid T-shirts and God only knows what else, right?
Yep.
And who knows who I bought that from, right?
Right.
I bought the stupid T-shirt because it caught my attention, but you have to have that mechanism behind it to capture the sale.
Exactly.
I watched the stupid video where you fell off the roof or whatever, but you were really selling, I don't know, anchors or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's being able to get that.
Exactly.
And we see, we're nowhere near this, but gosh, there's content creators that this is their full-time job now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Making stupid cat videos or whatever.
Yeah. That's
and they're making money on it.
Yeah. And that's true.
That's their business.
That is very true. I think I'd like to let the listeners know, though, that it's shifting more and more. There's not as many of those giant influencers. It's coming more to that micro size influencer. So continuing to show up. You guys do a great job with that. Educating your customer, having a little bit of entertainment within it as well, so that you are showcasing what you do, but not in a way that's super salesy. And I think that's such a key piece to. Yeah.
And we've said that, we've written scripts and you've helped us write scripts and plan out content and so forth. And I've said, that's just not us, right?
Exactly.
That's not who we are. I don't want to be the sales guy. I don't want to be the cheapest option. I don't want to be, the value provider. Exactly. That's our value proposition is that we're not any of those things.
Right.
We tell our clients we're not the cheapest option, but we're pretty good at what we do. And we're going to give you the value and all these extra tools and content, like even the podcast where you get to learn about how to do video for your business. Maybe.
Right. Exactly.
So that has nothing to do with payroll or bookkeeping or accounting or HR or any of those things, but it's something that we all have to figure out in our businesses. And it's a medium that's out there, and a lot of folks have seen tremendous success. I mean, you have varying clients, and you have service providers like us, but you have other businesses. What are some of your other clients doing? In terms of creating content and monetizing that content.
Yeah.
Right?
So the strategy that we use, and you guys, we do it with you. The strategy that works well is having that short form content, grabbing that attention. If you think about it like a funnel, the people on the top, it's very wide reach. And then we send them to some longer form content to nurture them, because they're strangers that now are willing to give you more of their time. So they're willing to watch something that's 5 minutes or something like that. And so that's what we've been doing a lot with our clients, is setting up that process of consistently posting, consistently showing up, and then creating the longer form stuff for them to actually nurture those clients. And when you can do that strategy, it will help your business grow.
Right. So you create the short form content, push them to your website, drive your brand value video, drive your product video of a demonstration or whatever you're kind of doing, right?
Exactly.
Those kind of things.
Exactly.
There's videos in multiple forms and multiple things.
Yeah. And I think it's key that when you, and I'd like to touch on this, is when you do drive them to that website with a brand video or something that's a little bit more in depth, having some testimonials is such a key factor. And you guys have seen this too with what you do. Those testimonials, having someone else talk about your business is game changer. They really are the number one converting form of content, because someone shows up on that page, they see someone else in a similar situation as them, they're going to make that decision.
Trust.
Yeah,
you're building a trust and authority. It
exactly.
just comes back to that, right?
100%.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've been doing the video stuff for about a little over a year, about a year, right?
Yep.
We've seen certain types of content thrive, I will say, or die on different platforms. Right? So talk to me about the different platforms. Talk to me about what might do better on certain platforms. Or you said TikTok's interest-based, right?
Yeah.
What's, how does that all work?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is the social media reels, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. They're all the vertical shot, up and down style shot video.
Like your phone.
Like your phone. Yeah, exactly. And TikTok is interest-based, but those reel styles, the way the algorithm works is it pushes it to strangers. So we like to post the same video across all the platforms, because that's a lot of eyeballs when you think about it. Yeah, that's 4 different platforms that are going to be viewing your video. And you see what does perform on which ones, and like you can tell. It's always about analyzing and making data-driven decisions. And like as a business like you are in payroll, I'm sure you guys make a lot of data-driven decisions. Sure. It's the same thing with video content. Like what's performing here? How can we make more of that? Like clearly our audience is enjoying this topic more. We need to make more of that. And always checking the analytics to use that as a way forward.
Yeah, I think that's been really key to us. Like I said, we had that one video from a year ago that took off, has 60,000 views, but the next 3 videos on TikTok had 40 views.
Yeah.
Right? And then that one didn't take off on Instagram, right? That one's still only 400 views on Instagram or whatever.
Exactly.
So it's interesting to see those, and there's, we've had videos that have shot through the roof on YouTube Shorts, and it's just crazy in the comments, and sometimes the audience that it attracts isn't necessarily the audience you might have wanted,
right,
or didn't intend, not that you didn't want, but I mean, we primarily focus our content to small business owners.
Yeah.
But where we've seen the most engagement is when we talk about employee issues.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's so that our clients are the business, but then their employees are engaging with it because we said, hey, one of the ones that got a lot of traction on YouTube was about paying out vacation time.
Right.
Do you have to pay out vacation time? Don't you have to pay it? What's the law? Blah, 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 blah. And the clients, the business owners, weren't engaged, but we then saw, the employees that said, "Oh, well, my employer was a shitbag and didn't pay me out. What can I do? Can I sue him?" Right?
Right.
I mean, those are the comments we were getting.
Right.
So it was a totally unintended audience, but it did drive content and did drive some value.
Exactly.
So it's always interesting. We've been doing it a year. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Have you figured it out?
There's really it's all about consistently like making adjustments and tweaking. There's not too much to figure out. The algorithms push to people outside of your immediate network, and so if you can just like look at it and make more of what people like, that's the easiest way to figure it out. Right. And even if the unintended audience comes, you're still thinking about, it's like networking. You know what I mean? The person you're networking with isn't necessarily the person you're trying to get the sale with. You want the person that they know.
Yeah.
And so that's how kind of the video world works with that.
I mean, we talk about building trust and authority. Our business is founded primarily on referrals. Right. So most of our clients come to us through another client or through a trusted advisor like you or an accountant or something like that. And so we have to be good at what we do. We have to be knowledgeable. But again, we're continuing to build that trust and knowledge through our network.
Exactly.
So, and we continue to push information to those people that send us business because, you never know. They may already be a client. They may already send you stuff, but it may need to be the next person that they recommend. So the reach, I think, is really huge.
So key. And especially in today's world, like coming 2024 now, the reach of organic is so much more powerful, in my opinion, than just like running a bunch of ads. Like we've done the ad thing a little bit.
Yep.
The results on the organic side is definitely clearly the way to go.
We stopped paying for ads.
Yeah.
And Graham was pissed. He's like, "What, are you firing me?" No, that's not the case at all. We were finding that I was spending, $1,000 a month on promoting these videos, and we were not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
We weren't getting any more engagement. We weren't getting any more leads. We weren't getting anything out of it. So,
exactly.
But we were seeing the organic content, just letting things ride.
Yep.
We were getting engagement.
Exactly.
So that, again, a data-driven decision. I sunk money into something that didn't return any value.
Yep.
And that's fine. We figured it out.
Yep.
But that's definitely, is something you learn as you go through things.
Exactly.
So talk about, cost, right? We're all business owners. We all have budgets. We all have,
most definitely.
Finite. We don't have, an unlimited bank account.
Of course.
What's it cost to do some of the, video production? What's it cost to post on these things and get things organized? And
most definitely.
What's that usually cost, right?
Yeah.
What's the investment? What do you have to spend?
That's a great question. So, I mean, there really does vary from, you're looking anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 about to do a video project, and it depends on how in depth you're going. But a sweet spot's like $3,000 to $5,000,
and that's a one-time investment, right?
Yeah,
you want to do something a monthly or quarterly or whatever.
Exactly.
You got to keep going.
Keep going because like we help our clients, our biggest thing is to give them their time back, like you were mentioning. Like, you now don't have to worry about posting on all these social medias. You don't have to worry about all this other stuff. You can focus on your revenue generating activities based on what we're doing with the video content.
So if I just want to set my phone on a ring light and start recording videos, there's no cost to post on these things, right?
No.
I could edit my own video. I mean, I guess there's probably not a lot of editing going on, but what is that $3,000 to $5,000 gets? It's not. I don't have to buy a camera. Hopefully whoever you're hiring has their own equipment, those kind of things, right? They're editing the videos and making them professional quality. All that stuff is included, right?
100%.
Or can be, right? Not necessarily. Everything's a la carte.
It is. But like for us, we're going to post everything for you. We're going to film everything. We're going to edit everything. We're going to come up with script ideas. It is like a collaborative effort, as far as like helping guide you. I mean, you're the expert in your business, so you're going to come up with what works for you, but helping in that guidance process, and then taking care of essentially everything as far as like other than the you showing up to be there when we're actually filming,
right?
And so that'll cover that. And I do suggest, we do have phones in our pocket, and I do suggest that people start putting content out. But if you actually want that video content to match the high quality brand that you want your time back, that's when you can call someone like myself, and we can start working on that.
Right. So what you're offering is more than just recording, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of consulting.
Yeah, exactly.
You're guiding through the process. It's a full service solution. It's
full service.
It's not just I'm going to show up and record and leave.
Yep.
It's how do we follow that through from creating the content, making it look professional, getting your message out.
Exactly.
And either getting more business or engaging with your current clientele, things like that. Right?
Most definitely. And I consider myself a video strategist and not just a videographer. Like, a videographer is going to come in, they're going to create the nice production, and they'll hand you a nice production. And it's like, okay, now what? We're actually sitting down. What's the strategy? How are we getting in front of that person? What's the whole process? How are we guiding them through the customer journey, and actually doing the posting and doing the whole distribution and all that stuff? So like a full done for you service.
So I keep talking about the algorithm because I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but I know I've sent you things like, hey, this is the best time to post on this channel and that channel. So are there good times and bad times? And because we're scrolling at night or in the morning or on the toilet or wherever anyone happens to be.
There is good times and to post, and it's based on your audience. Like, I've got the tools that we look at, like for your audience, that I can tell like when they're engaging with the videos more than other times. And so I tend to post on those times. And I usually do it like on the off hour, like if it instead of 11, we'll do like 11:30 or 11:15 or something like that. But I have analytics, and it all comes down to that data-driven decisions to see that most people are engaging. Some days it's this time, some days it's this time. And then testing too, like, okay, we'll test, okay, maybe they are engaging more this time. Let's try a different time to see if it does make a difference, because that's marketing, is testing as well.
There's a lot of testing and research and try again.
Exactly.
Right? It's interesting. I see things in my feeds from 3 weeks ago, right? I mean, it may not be just because you posted at 6 a.m. today. When I wake up at 7 o'clock and I'm scrolling in bed or whatever.
Exactly.
That I still see things from 3 weeks ago. So the algorithms changed. I know. I think we had a conversation about this. Instagram now, you post a photo, post multiple pieces in one post, a photo, and then you got to swipe to see the video.
Exactly.
Kind of thing, right? That's a new thing.
Yep, that's a new strategy. The carousel posts. So like you almost get like 2 opportunities to show up for someone. They'll be scrolling on their feed. They'll see the photo. If they don't engage with that, okay, then what Instagram will do is the next time, they'll put the video clip up on the feed, and so then it's just another strategy to get in front of people.
Mark Zuckerberg's always changing things.
That's a bane of my existence. I literally figure out something one day, and then it's like completely in the opposite spot the next day.
But that's business, right?
Yep,
I mean, we all changed. I mean, there have been days in my career where I thought I had something figured out, and gosh, something changed, right? And it's so different than this, and we have to continue to educate ourselves and continue to evolve. It's not the good old days of punching in, punching out with, filling out the ledger book and leaving are gone, right?
I mean, even just doing the content with you guys and helping promote your business, I've seen the changes in your industry in just the time that we've been working together.
I know when we first met, I was like, okay, this person does content we like. This person, these are some of the influencers that we want to be like, right? And I guess imitation's the best form of flattery, right?
Yeah.
But certainly we create our own content and our own topics, and gosh, if you can't talk about your business all day long, then you shouldn't be in business, right? That's what I say. We have no problem every month coming up with content, right?
No.
Whether it's customer stories, whether it's regular. I mean, we're in a very heavily regulated business. Whether it's regulatory things, compliance issues, state laws. Even sometimes it's just, hey, what happened down the street, right?
Right.
Customer story, employee stories. Sometimes it's technology. Hey, this tool's out there for you. I mean, there's so many things that we deal with. We have our team at this point. If people are calling and asking questions, we tell our team, write that down.
Yeah.
Right? If that's a new question, write that down.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how we create our content. We answer the questions that they're asking.
That is
it takes time. The first few times I think we struggled.
Yep.
And then we realized, we could talk about anything.
And exactly. Exactly.
There's a lot to doing what we do. And that's in any business. If you're a contractor, let's talk about the difference between a 10-penny hammer and a 5-penny hammer. I don't know.
Exactly.
Right? It might be boring to most people, but
but the people that are looking for that interest, it's going to show up. And you talked about, like, you see something show up in your feed 3 weeks later, according to what it says. That's because of interest base. You might have been scrolling and watching a couple videos similar to that topic, and now the algorithm's like, oh, but there's this one too, and so it'll show you that, and so if you're there with those pieces, you capture that ability.
And the algorithms are changing all the time, even for your own interests, right? I mean, I can tell you when I was building a house, certainly, I always say everyone's always listening, right? I'm talking about appliances, and the next thing you know, I've got I got every appliance in my feed, right?
Most definitely.
But now I don't see those anymore, right? Because obviously I'm not engaging with those.
Exactly.
So I think that's something to think about as well. Is in keeping that engagement going.
So key.
Is certainly important.
Yeah,
right?
Most definitely, because you just said it right there, like. You were looking for appliances. The appliance things showed up. So you want to be the one, especially, or if whoever your business is, but as payroll, you want to be the one showing up when people are having that same thing. Like they're looking for payroll, they're scrolling, and they may not be making the decision right now, but it's on their mind.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how those things show up when you don't even.
I don't know. I mean, you're talking about, who God only knows.
Yeah.
A pizza oven.
Yep.
And then to friends at the bar, and then all of a sudden you get home and you're scrolling, and there's the Uni app. Right?
Well, we're done this podcast. We're gonna have something on our phones.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, I always like a business challenge personally.
Yeah,
I like to see what's out there, try the new things, what's working for everybody else. And I think, certainly we've seen the value of video in educating our clients. And again, it's not always about direct monetization necessarily. It might also be about educating your clients. And,
exactly.
It's funny, one of my good friends, he goes, we've done some quirky ones where, one's like a crash, and so he'd walk into my office every once in a while and just say crash. And then that video was about your employees breaking your property.
Yep.
Right? Like, hey, the dishwasher dropped a stack of plates. Can I take that out of their check?
Exactly.
Well, the answer is no. Well, okay, my buddy comes to me and he goes, 2 months after we did that video, after he said crash to me 37 times, saying, oh, you made a stupid video, and he goes, hey, he's a landscaper, and one of his employees knocked over a $200 planter, custom clay planter, and he wanted to take that out of his check to buy the client a new planter. And I said, did you even watch that full 30-second reel? Where I know you did because you said crash 20 times,
right?
But you never followed through to the end to know that you can't charge that employee for that. And so he was kind of had a light bulb. He was like, oh, you actually were trying to tell me something? I'm like, yeah.
Most definitely.
Certainly, again, we're probably all guilty of it. You see you have how long to capture someone? Milliseconds.
You have milliseconds, but there's really like that 3 seconds max in the beginning of the video to really
people are
capture.
invest in that. Right? Well, awesome. This was
Yeah.
a lot, Graham. You have any other thoughts on video?
No,
just business for video in general.
We've covered a lot today, and I appreciate being on here. I mean, you guys have really done a lot with some of these strategies, especially here in Maine, and what I see a lot of other businesses doing. You guys really paving the way for that, and I see
It's been
that
fun.
as awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. How do we get in? You've given us a lot of information today. How do folks find you?
Yeah, my website is VALUD all one word.com, and I'm on all social medias at VALUD Productions, so Valued Productions, all social medias.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, Graham. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Chris.
Remember, please subscribe, like us on Small Business Big World, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all those kind of things. You can keep on top of everything we're talking about. Don't forget to subscribe, give us feedback, review us. If you have something, please reach out. We always want to know what you want to hear about. So please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Thanks so much. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Small Business Big World. This podcast is a production of Paper Trails. We are a payroll and HR company based in Kennebunk, Maine, and we serve small and mid-sized businesses across New England and the country. If you found this podcast helpful, don't forget to follow us at Paper Trails Payroll across all social media platforms, and check us out at papertrails.com for more information. As a reminder, the views, opinions, and thoughts expressed are the hosts and guests alone. The material presented in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should not be considered legal or financial advice. By inviting this guest to our podcast, Paper Trails does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific individual, organization, product, or service.